Hi, this is Rachel Israel with STEM News and Global World Report. We have breaking news that will have a huge impact on the global scene in the very near future. Let's take a look at what's going on around the world.
This is why you need to know about the explosive Oval Office meeting between President Trump and Zelenskyy. It's a game changer. On February 28, 2025, a high-stakes meeting between President Trump and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy came to an explosive end. Originally intended to finalize a minerals deal and discuss security guarantees, the meeting rapidly deteriorated into a heated argument. Trump accused Zelenskyy of disrespect and of risking World War III with his stance against Russia. He also criticized Zelenskyy for being ungrateful, despite over $180 billion in U.S. aid. Zelenskyy fired back, warning of the dangers of trusting Putin and citing broken agreements. He ominously stated, "You will feel the influence." Vice President J.D. Vance further escalated tensions, accusing Zelenskyy of using American media for propaganda and of being ungrateful for U.S. support. The planned minerals deal and joint news conference were abruptly canceled, and Zelenskyy was asked to leave the White House by Trump's advisors. Trump later took to social media, claiming Zelenskyy was not ready for peace and had disrespected the U.S. Democratic leaders condemned Trump and Vance, accusing them of playing into Putin's hands. European leaders like Ursula von der Leyen and Emmanuel Macron reaffirmed their support for Ukraine and called for Western unity. This was Zelenskyy's fifth visit to the White House, but his first during Trump's administration. The meeting's fallout has left international relations teetering on the edge, with Europe considering stronger leadership and Kiev fearing a peace deal with excessive concessions to Russia. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. What happens next could reshape global politics.
Join me as I dive into the dramatic moment when Zelenskyy stormed out of the Oval Office and issued a warning about impending doom. Can I unpack what this really means for us? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the president of Ukraine, recently made a highly anticipated visit to the Oval Office to meet with U.S. officials. The stakes were high, and the world was watching, as the relationship between Ukraine and the U.S. has global implications that go far beyond their bilateral ties. Ukraine is currently facing numerous threats, from Russian aggression to domestic instability, and the consequences of inaction could be devastating not just for Ukraine, but for the entire world. If Ukraine falls, it could create a power vacuum that would be exploited by hostile nations, leading to a destabilization of the global order. Furthermore, Ukraine's strategic location makes it a crucial player in the global energy landscape, and any disruptions to its energy sector could have far-reaching consequences. The U.S. and its allies have a vested interest in supporting Ukraine, not just for humanitarian reasons, but for their own national security. Make no mistake, the fate of Ukraine is intertwined with that of the West. The escalating tensions in Eastern Europe have put Ukraine on high alert, and Zelenskyy's government is urging the international community to take a tougher stance against Russian aggression. With Ukraine's sovereignty under threat, the country desperately needs military aid and diplomatic support to counter Russian encroachment. The U.S. has been a key partner in providing military aid, but it's clear that more needs to be done to ensure Ukraine's security. The world is watching, and if the U.S. fails to take decisive action, it could be seen as a sign of weakness, emboldening hostile nations to pursue their own agendas. Zelenskyy's meeting with U.S. officials was a crucial opportunity to convey the urgency of the situation and to secure commitments for increased support. During the meeting, Zelenskyy was adamant that Ukraine needs more than just rhetorical support, it needs concrete actions to guarantee its security. He emphasized that time is of the essence, and that the window for action is rapidly closing. Zelenskyy's key message was clear: Ukraine is not just fighting for its own survival, but for the values of democracy and freedom that the West holds dear. He warned that if Ukraine falls, it would be a catastrophic blow to the global democratic order, and that the U.S. has a moral obligation to support Ukraine in its hour of need. Zelenskyy's words were not just a plea for help, they were a stark warning about the consequences of inaction. As the meeting wore on, Zelenskyy's frustration and urgency became palpable. He was not in the Oval Office to make small talk or to engage in diplomatic niceties, he was there to sound the alarm and to demand action. When it became clear that his warnings were falling on deaf ears, Zelenskyy's anger and frustration boiled over, leading to his dramatic exit from the meeting. The exact details of the meeting are still unclear, but one thing is certain: Zelensky's abrupt departure sent a shockwave through the diplomatic community, and it's clear that he will not be ignored. The question now is, what will the US do in response to Zelensky's warnings? Will it take decisive action to support Ukraine, or will it continue to dither, allowing the situation to spiral out of control? The main issues raised by Zelensky are clear: Ukraine needs military aid, diplomatic support, and a commitment to its sovereignty. The ball is now in the US's court, and the world is watching to see how it will respond. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on Zelensky's message in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos on international relations for more in-depth analysis and commentary.
Well, that's the news for tonight. Thank you so much for continually supporting our content. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. I'm sure they would find it interesting as well. We're very excited to continue this journey with you. We thank you all for bringing certain stories to our attention, and for continually keeping us updated with certain events around the world.